All right, let's take a look at our answers for this categorical free response problem. Okay, is your is your gender affecting, or is there an association between your gender and the type of job, your job employment status? Never having a part-time job, having a part-time job just in the summer, and then having a part-time job not only in the summer, so more often during the year. Okay, so we talked about how we did our fractions, how this was the conditional section here. So we did our fractions out of the 48 males. And so here were our fractions out of the 48 males. And then out of the 52 females. So here were our fractions out of the 52 females. Okay. Overall, here was our numbers here. We had out of the 100 overall. So we did those percentages. Okay. And then here's what they looked like. Didn't have that marginal earlier, but there it is. All right. So taking a look at this, we want to know, what does this show us about the relationship between your gender and you having a particular job? So let's take a look. Well, first of all, I can see that these look different. So that means to me that the fact that you are a male or female is changing, it's affecting the rate here. So, since the fact that you're a male or female is affecting the rate at which you do those kinds of things, then there's something happening. There is a connection, there is a relationship. The fact that you are male or female is affecting the rate at which you have a job. So, let's take a look. So, I can see here from my percentages, remember, they need to be within 1 percentage point to be considered close enough. So, look at the males, 43.75, and the females, just almost 60%. Okay. So, overall, I think we have this happening here. Let me see if I can pull up this little picture I had. Yep. So, here's what I think is happening. I think the fact that you are something does change the rate. That's here over on the other side. The fact that you are one thing does change the rate at which you are having a particular job. The percentages were affected. They are different. So that's why our graphs looked different. So we have this situation here. They are related. They are not independent. Something's going on. There is an association. Okay, so let's write what we have to write. So we know that when we write our problem out, we have 3 parts. Our conclusion is very thorough. And so the first statement we make is we just make a claim. Answer the question. Is there an association? So that's what we're going to start with. And so we say, guess what? Yes, gender, or there is an association between what it was wondering about, which was gender and job experience. Okay, good. So that's step 1. Step 1. Step 2, elaborate. The fact that you are male or female affects the rate at which you have a part-time job. All right. Now, third thing, statistical evidence. For example, and I'm going to give an example for each category. And my categories are never had a part-time job. So what am I going to say about that? I'm going to say, oh, you know what? Here's what's happening. Females have never had a part-time job at a higher rate than males. And then I'll compare those percentages. And then I need to say something about having a part-time job, but just during the summer. That's higher for males. And then I'm going to say something about having a part-time job more frequently even than just the summer. And I can see that was higher for the males. So here's what that looks like down here. For example, males had a part-time job, not only in the summer at a higher rate. Oh, it looks like I started at the bottom, 25 versus 15. And then the next one above that was males had a part-time job just during the summer at a higher rate than females, 31 to 25. And here was the last category, the top one. Females never had a part-time job at a higher rate than males. And notice I rounded these to whole percentages. By the time I got to this point, I went ahead and just rounded to whole percentages because it was definitely enough of for me to see that difference. All right, there is your full conclusion on that. Let's now take a look at these problems that had pictures, and you had to make a decision from the pictures. Here we go. So in this first one, it's about eye color and gender. And so I see the question, does eye color appear to be independent of gender? And I see the fact that you are male or female seems to be affecting the eye color rate. So there's something going on. They're affecting each other. They are not independent. So I wrote that. I said, eye color is not independent of gender. I elaborate. The fact that you are male or female affects the rate at which you have a certain eye color. Then I make my statements. For example, and I make the statements for each category, and I had to just approximate these. Blue eyes have a lower rate than females. Females have blue eyes at a lower rate than males. And then I gave the numbers that those looked like. Females have brown eyes at a higher rate than males. And let's see, females have green eyes at a higher rate than males. Okay, so there we go. And so I went as though these were all percentages, by the way, on the sides. Okay, this is an interesting problem because take a look. This is different data. We have this situation where overall, yes, there's something going on here. The fact that you are male or female is definitely affecting the rate at which you have brown and green eyes. So overall, I say it's affecting the eye color. But this is interesting. Isn't blue eyes very interesting? That's saying that, you know what? The fact that you're a male or female doesn't change the rate. They were having blue eyes at the same rate as each other. So that was interesting, that one of the subcategories. So I wrote about that. But anyway, overall, eye color still not independent of gender. Okay. The fact that you are male or female affects the rate at which you have brown and green eyes, I said. For example, females have brown eyes at a higher rate than males. Females have green eyes at a lower rate than males, and I'm giving the numbers each time. But interestingly enough, blue eyes are independent of gender because 18% of both females and males have blue eyes. So, see, that was interesting. So, looking at those subcategories is interesting. All right, here is this next problem. So we're counting cars. So that does the car color at a stop sign. So you're at a stop sign and you're then looking and counting the cars. Does it seem to be independent of the time of day? So it was kind of hard to see if you had a black and white picture, but blue is the morning and red is the evening. Now, here's the different colored cars: white, silver, green, black, blue, and red. So what's happening is that, so first question I want to ask you is, why are these different lengths of bars? Why are those different lengths of bars? And I hope that you can see that it would make sense that you are seeing different amounts of white, silver, green, black, and blue. It looks like these were done in numbers and counts. Okay. So there were different amounts of those particular colors that they saw at the stop sign in those parts of the day. So then what we need to look at is, how is the morning part of the bar compared to the evening part of the bar? And in every category, every type of color car, this is split completely in half. So, if we were doing like a stacked bar graph and we were looking at it sideways, we would see half of each bar is AM and half of each bar is PM. So they are seeing, regardless of whether or not it's AM or PM, they're seeing those colors at 50%, at 50% rate. Half in the morning, half at night. So car color and time of day are independent, because the fact that it is AM or PM does not affect the rate at which you see the colors at the stop sign. For example, if you look at each bar, you can see that half of each color stopped in the AM and half of each color stopped in the PM. Okay, and the last one, these are not independent. Hopefully you're getting this by now. Fruit and bug type are not independent. The fact that you're a spider or worm affects the rate at which it chooses an apple or an orange. For example, 2/3 of spiders choose apple, a third of spiders choose orange, and so on. Okay, so there you go. So hopefully you're getting a hang of this idea of this independence and not independence. All right, and we will keep practicing this.